Hey everyone, this is me, Colleen, and Deb, the seer, here with you again to have a little chat about karma. And I think karma is a really important subject to be talking about right now because what is karma? How does it play out in our lives? Is it real? Isn't it real? And I think it's really important in the dynamics of the world today. That's kind of going on with harsh relationships, people, partnerships, divorces, governments, leaders, and we all seem to be sort of in this vortex of tangling with each other to some degree, not agreeing. And so it's a really good subject, I think, for us to be tackling at this particular moment in time, just before this full moon that's coming, which brings us to the crossroads of some of this energetic energy that is manifesting. So, what do you think karma is, Deb?
Well, it's the cause and effect. So the problem is you have what you do will cause and effect, and then you will receive whatever it is that. So if it's good or if it's bad. So if I do something, then all of a sudden, I'm going to get my karma. It's like karma's a bitch kind of thing. But karma can be a good thing too. But then it's a tangled up mess because how I react to somebody else's karma also causes karma onto me. So I'm like, it's always circling. It's crazy.
Right. So yeah, I kind of looked at some of this, and essentially it is uh a cause and effect, like a boomerang. If I do
Mhm.
something, it goes out into the energy, and then eventually it's gonna swing around and come right back at me. And so legally, they actually have a term called causation, which is cause and effect, right? And causation is an action that is negligent or negative that leads to an effect. And so there is this relationship, even in our own laws, mankind laws, that we have to really prove causation, that there was a negative action which directly led to some sort of harm or effect, that the result of whatever was done. So, it sort of plays into that energetic. I think it sort of coincides with Murphy's Law that says anything that can go wrong will go
Really.
wrong.
Yep.
So, and we've all experienced that. Once one thing starts going wrong, we start to keep attracting all the uh, negative stuff. So, do you think it's random?
No, I don't. It really isn't. I know like you pointed out, it's an energy, it's stuck in energy somewhere. But if it was random, our life would be a lot easier. But
Oh, how so?
so much easier. Well, because it could be like, okay, if it's in a random thing, then I can just dodge the bullet, right? It's like, then I know, okay, it's not from me, it's just happening out there, but nothing's random. Nothing's random. So people will believe that, okay, something that I did 10 years ago, if I hurt an animal and then, oh my gosh, all of a sudden I got into a car accident, I'm going to blame that animal that I hit way back when. And it's like, so there's always something that can tie you to that energy from wherever. So it's quite interesting. I got a story yesterday. A friend of mine was in the States and she wanted to go see the falls. Her husband said, no, we're going to go this way instead. So they ended up hitting an elk and it didn't total their vehicle, but they got it. Sorry for everybody who's animal lovers, but as soon as it hit compact, it died immediately. She blamed the fact that we should have went to the falls so we wouldn't have hit the elk. Cause and effect.
Yes, yes.
Yeah. Yeah. So if we would have went the way I was being let to go, we would have avoided all this mess.
Right.
Literally.
So,
Yes.
but that sort of ties in then to that was a karmic
Hmm.
action that
Yeah.
took place, which resulted in this effect.
Hmm.
But
But if
then
it
he
was
turned
random,
around and he blamed it on
yeah,
somebody else.
exactly. Was it random
So,
that he just hit that elk?
do you think it was fated?
I said, well, yeah, because he's going, well, is it just random I hit the elk? She's going, no, you hit the elk because you didn't listen to me. So then it ended up being another cause and effect.
Right. So,
Yeah,
yeah, and that's where karma gets into a real twisted thing about who's responsible for the karma.
exactly.
So who do you think is responsible for it?
In that case, well, it's like, yeah, it he could say he's responsible for the karma because he didn't listen to her, and then it just could, but then it's like, well, if I but they were slowed down, so it's like there's all sorts of different options. Or they could have turned around and said, well, I asked you to take the wheel and you didn't, so it's your fault. So it ends up going back and forth because there was a lot going on at that moment. So it's like, who's responsible for the karma, or is it random? That's all I'm
Yeah.
saying. Yeah,
Well, it's conscious.
exactly.
It's conscious and unconsciousness, right?
Hmm.
That we're consciously aware of the actions we're taking and the results that are going to happen, or we're unconscious of the actions we're taking and the consequences that could arise from that. So I think that some of karma is consciously based. And I do, with some of the research I've done, some of it, if it's done consciously, actually avoids karma.
Makes sense.
Because if I'm actually thinking, for example, unconscious behavior would be I answer the phone in my travels while driving my vehicle. Unconsciously I start texting, not even thinking, and then the effect of that, of course, is an accident. So, or the decisions I make directly affect the karma that I'm accumulating, whether conscious or unconscious. So,
Yeah,
bad behavior seems like it's unconscious, and good behavior seems it's more consciously aware.
that makes sense.
Yeah. You know,
Unless
yeah.
some people are
So,
purposely doing something negative. It would be consciously that karma. Yeah.
yeah. And that's what I kind of wanted to tie it into some world events too, because I
Yeah.
think there are definitely people out there who are consciously causing harm to other people for their own gains. And so eventually, as the motto goes, eventually, um, we as maybe good people, or if we divide ourselves into good people and bad people, that eventually all those bad people would have some sort of repercussion or punishment to the bad karma that they keep throwing out into the universe. So, do you believe that?
Yes, but sometimes it doesn't happen fast enough.
So, what
Because it's
makes
like
it
it could
not
be
happen in that rebound? What would stop it? When would it happen then?
it could happen in a future life. It could be happening once after you die, right? So I've seen people die, and then after they were dead, then they would get their karma. I see them going to the underworld. So it's like, okay, there you go. Now you've been punished for what you have done in this life. even though in this life it seemed like nothing happened to you. So it's like it will happen eventually. It just had that energy has to catch up with that person. Sometimes we
Yes.
want it to happen immediately. It doesn't work that way.
Yeah. So what if somebody, like you're saying, if you take on that karma, then would that alleviate the karma from them?
No, it just adds more karma
Like,
because it's
so,
your effect. It's like how you react to their karma. So I can't take their karma away. They'll have karma and then I'll have karma. So then we just created more ripple effect. That's like, yeah,
so you're saying you're the effect, cause and
I could be.
effect. So they're
I
their karma has caused an incident and you're taking on that karma because you're the effect.
my or whatever, however I react to that. And then
Right,
that creates a new karma. So they have their karma from how they behaved, and then I have my karma with how I reacted to that behavior.
right. But they're
And then
directing it
somebody
at
else,
you. So
yeah,
that
and
would
then
be
somebody
you would be the
exactly,
effect.
exactly.
And then
That would
you
be
would produce your own karma based on the events that are happening to you.
exactly. And then if somebody is affected by my karma, then I just causes ripple all over the place.
I know that's so the whole world actually right now is just full of this back and forth karmic energy that is going on.
Mhm.
Which so
Definitely doesn't make for dull moments.
well it doesn't. Yeah, so it's really important what you're saying as to how we react to the karma that we're receiving. And whether we choose consciously to be involved in it or whether we don't or whether we're forced to be involved in it. So don't you think that's where consciousness comes in?
It could. Well, yeah, because eventually you'll be conscious of what's going on with the negativity or positive that is coming your way. Like
Right,
you will eventually become conscious of it. It's like
right,
it's interesting because in different cultures and different religions, they believe that the cause effect is there all the time. This is happening. For example, I had a call today and somebody goes, there's all these frogs on my property. What did I do wrong to create all these frogs on my property? It says it doesn't have to be an energy thing. Doesn't mean you did anything wrong. It might just be, oh, your house may have a leak somewhere, or there might be some moisture somewhere, or oh, you didn't cut your grass for weeks, so now you got this long grass that's attracting the frogs to be on your property. So sometimes it's not karma. Well, it is karma because he didn't cut his grass, therefore the frogs are on his property.
right. But scientifically, years ago, we used to do that. The
Yes.
somebody told us, a leader or whatever said, you are behaving badly, and as a result,
This is
this is happening to you. You guys are
yes.
and in some ways that used to help us, right? Because
Mm-hmm.
they would say, like, straighten up, like, be nice to each other, stop doing that, and then we would all kind of pull ourselves together and start being, relatively nice to one another. And so I think that's really important because it kind of stopped that boomerang effect of thought and action
Mm-hmm.
and and what we're doing to create certain energies in the world. But I don't believe that a crop failure is a punishment for some sort of thing that I did necessarily.
Exactly.
But it
Yeah.
kind of kept us in line back in the day,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
like
Bad rate. Yeah.
yeah, like the woman with the frogs. Oh, I have to straighten myself up and be a good person and change my energy because now I have all these frogs in my yard. Yeah.
Exactly.
So it kind of, in some ways, consciously as people, we kind of, it's kind of a balancing thing. Do you think?
Well, no, no, definitely it is. But because if you balance out, yeah, you just want, like you said, you want to bring in more positive and neutral energy. If you can have like neutral energy, have peace all the time, then there would be very little karma coming your way.
Right.
Yeah. It's like superstition. Superstition, I believe, is all based around karma.
Yes. Yeah. Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
And yeah, karma, superstition, don't do this because this is going to be the result. Love everybody because then love, the karmic reaction to that would be love, of course. So, because I was reading somewhere that actually the mediator, the counteraction to negative karma is actually grace.
Yeah.
And it kind of, like, in a biblical sense, it kind of somewhat goes with, well, she knows not what she does, so
Mm.
therefore I'll forgive her, or consciously mitigating some of the action. But yet, in the reverse, I think this could be really extreme because karma can produce that forgiveness, but karma can also produce resentment.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. And also like that makes sense because and it can carry on through many different lives for those who believe in past lives. Like you can carry, like you can do one thing in one life, and then all of a sudden I've done like 4 or 5 different lives, and it's like that same karma. It's like, oh, you just haven't learned your lesson. You haven't learned your lesson, or you haven't cleared your karma. Which one is that? Or is it both?
Right.
Right?
So you believe you can clear karma?
Well, we hope so. That's what we're all striving for. Is to get rid of all that negative so we can live on peacefully or like move on into another realm altogether. Because if you're stuck on the same loop of the same karma, then you'll never move anywhere. You never go anywhere. So let's clear this mess up. Then we'll go to a next one. It's like, oh, I learned my lesson. Now something else is coming, you know?
But can I just say that? Can I just say, oh, I've learned my lesson now. Let's move on. Karma's cleared, done with that. Do you believe that?
I've tried to do that myself energetically and it doesn't work. It doesn't work. So it's like you can say all you want, you can put as much energy into this as you want, but unless you actually physically, okay, clear this action, it will not go away.
Right, because there has to be a counterbalance to the karma. An
Yeah.
actual, so if karma is a deed or an action, then, and some people say thought, belief, emotion doesn't play into karma, then we would actually have to physically do something to counteract the karma. We couldn't just say, okay, I'm, I'm done with that now. I learned my lesson, so I'm done with that. It In some religious back, they say you actually have to physically do something positive to counteract the negative karmic thing that you pushed out into the universe.
It's like closing a door. You have to physically close that door in order to go to the next step.
Well, yeah, but they say you actually have to take an action.
Well,
For
that, yeah.
for example, I was really mean to you yesterday. And so today, as a result of that karma that I pushed out there, I have to be really nice to you today. And maybe even say, I'm really sorry that I did that and apologize for that karmic energy that I shoved out yesterday against you. But I didn't really do that, folks.
No, 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 no.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
that wouldn't it be nice if it was that easy though? Because you were going to have another effect. We've all been in situations where if something has happened and it's like, okay, is it that easy to say I'm sorry and go forward?
Right.
Sometimes it's not that easy, but
So maybe karma doesn't require, so karma is personally based. I produce my own karma, right? I throw it out there like a boomerang. And
mhm,
when it comes back is could be in my next life,
mhm.
could be in this life, could it be, I don't think it can go backwards to uh, a past life. Like what I'm producing now is a result of future lives coming, I think.
Yes,
But you wonder like how or where all of this is kind of stored. Is where is it stored? Where is all this karma stored? If it's not coming back to me immediately, like I'm driving down the road and disobeying the laws and I get in a car accident immediately, where is it? Where is it?
the Akashic records. It's in your energy field. So it's like, okay, if I've done something um 3 lives back, and it's like it went into my Akashic records or my book of life. Everything that I do is recorded. Everything. Everything that you do is recorded. So it's recorded in that book of life, but where is it cleared? And how is it cleared? And that's what we want to do is we want to clear the karma. So yes, I feel
So
that it's stored in your Akash records, and then how do we clear it?
yeah.
And
So
yeah,
it's an interesting concept because I've read some other articles about how we can clear the Akashic. So just define what the Akashic is to the listeners.
yeah. So guys, so basically the way I look at Akashic records is so like I like to describe it as a book. So it's everything that you've ever done anywhere in your lifetime is stored in these records. Some people look at it as books, some people look at it as just memories, but you carry your memories with you from life to life to life. You may not remember them because it's stored, and it's stored in that, let's say, big computer up in the sky, for example. But then some things in your life will trigger the past, and it's like, oh, this is similar. Now it's starting all over again. Boom, boom, boom. We have to take care of this now. I'm in a situation where I've had 4 different opportunities to clear the karma, and now I'm or 3 other opportunities. Now I'm at number 4. So the goal is clear the karma in this life so it doesn't carry us into number 5 situations. So the and people have done that. They have had issues where I've had issues with other people in other lives where how am I connected with them? Why are we dealing with difficulties in this life? And how do we clear it so we don't have to do this again? So then you look at contracts. So then you got soul contracts. And then it's like, well, let's clear the soul contract energetically, but what kind of exchange needs to be there in order to clear that soul contract? Because just clearing it energetically does not seem to be enough. And that's where Colleen's courses come into play because she
Yeah,
teaches
well, that it
everything.
is interesting
Yeah.
that like karma is stored in another dimension, in another
Mm-hmm.
um, level of existence. And so then do these, because I'm not in that dimension, I'm in this dimension, living in this life. So if I clear that over there, would it actually affect my life here?
Yes, it can, but it takes time.
Right,
It,
because
it,
some scholars in some religions like Buddhism, Hinduism, Jainism, they say no.
hmm.
They say no, that you can clear that over there, But in this life, whatever karma is occurring here and now has to be mitigated with some sort of action here. So it isn't stored in the records. Stored as an event that occurred that was balanced out in this life. And so therefore it didn't accumulate in the records. Do you understand?
Yes, I do.
Sometimes I don't.
Yeah, no,
Sometimes I don't.
that makes sense. And everybody's truth is everybody's opinion, and everybody's opinion is their own truth too.
Yeah.
So, and it's how you react or what experience you have had in clearing those things on an energetic level. So like clearing it on an energetic level will be, for example, like dealing with curses. So when you're dealing with energetic curses, you can clear that energetic curse so that it doesn't affect you in the future. But it
Oh,
may
yeah,
not.
but is that karma?
It,
That was an action from somebody else that was
that
put on to you.
you reacted to it. It's how your reaction is. It could very well be karma. It could turn into a karmatic thing.
Right, because karma is only the actions that we do. So the
Mm-hmm.
we may be influenced by the curse, but the
Mm-hmm.
karma isn't mine. The karma is belongs to the
Somebody
person
else's.
who enacted that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, and and how I react to the curse uh could produce a
More.
karmic effect for me as well. And so, yeah, but I do believe that week before the Akashic is the written events that occurred in a lifetime.
Mm-hmm.
And I haven't completed this lifetime yet. So
Makes
I believe that I can mitigate this karmic energy that I'm producing here without it being stored into future lifetimes and future events that could be happening. Actually, if you take like a positive karma, if I keep doing good, 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 good here, which one good eliminates one negative karma, the exchange to create the balance, I could actually, in this lifetime, if I was that good of a person, I could actually clear the Akashic.
cool. That
Do
makes sense.
you think?
Yep. Oh, absolutely. That makes sense.
Yeah. There's so
Yeah.
many different ways of looking at it, hey?
Yeah. Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yeah. There's different people that have different ideas about certain things. So yeah, no, there's so many different um thought processes of how things work.
Yeah.
But yeah, that
Well,
would be wonderful.
like it's all over the place, just about everywhere. It says what you sow is what you're going to reap,
Exactly.
which is karmic
Mhm.
energy as well, as far as
Yeah.
I understand.
Yeah. And for those people who have time and they want to actually look at all those sayings, they have 50 empowering karma quotes that you can pick up. That
Oh,
you can go
really?
on.
Where do you
Yeah.
get that?
Okay, I will tell you in 2 seconds. Um, can you still see me?
Yeah.
Okay.
Mhm.
So it's basically rd.com, arts and entertainment, quotes and funny. And this was written by Charlotte Hilton Anderson. And she has 50 powerful karmic quotes on love, life, and rewards and revenge. So you can get that right on the internet. It's quite nice to see the different things that she has written, realize that everything connects to everything else. Yeah, it's just all about everything being tangled. This is your karma. You do not understand now, but you will understand later. So she's got different quotes by different people. That was by Raven Rose. So go on the internet, have fun with that. Look
And
her
could
up.
you just repeat that one more time, the website?
the website. So it's rd.com, arts and entertainment, quotes funny. You are looking for Charlotte Hilton Anderson. She wrote a really nice article on karma. It's called 50 Powerful Karma Quotes on Love, Life, Rewards, and Revenge. It's a lot of fun to look at.
Oh, yeah. And it could be a
Yeah,
lot of good advice
yeah, it
for us
is.
to do some affirmations as well, right?
Yeah, exactly. Yep, absolutely. Just give
Yeah.
me a second. I'm trying to get back on to find you because I clicked off. But you
Oh,
guys
because
can
you're
see
still
me.
there.
Good. Okay.
Mm.
We will we will open this up. There we go.
It should be just a little box in the corner of your computer that shows me.
Right.
And then you can just expand it and make it big again.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, we'll keep looking. You guys, I'll keep talking and we'll figure this out. Not very technical savvy, but you can see me just fine. So we'll just
So cause and effect, right? You went someplace
absolutely.
else, and now the
Yeah,
effect
there
is
you are. Perfect.
that that
Yeah.
you don't exist anymore, right? Karma, I think, is really complex. I think it is a real based on uh, your own consciousness, morals, and ethics. For some people, they believe that what they're doing isn't a bad thing. But the result could be bad for somebody else. Oscar
Yeah.
Wilde was the first person who kind of said, no good deed goes unpunished. And you kind of wonder where that comes from, like in why would that be a thing? And kind of when you look at it, if a good deed cancels out a negative karma, then where would that etiology come from? And so I wondered about that because, Jesus did a lot of good deeds. Buddha did a lot of good deeds. Various other people, the masters did a lot of good deeds and they were punished.
Exactly. Yeah.
So is that phrase, does that only belong to this dimension?
A lot of people believe the things that they hear and that they say to help them become a better person. So, is that what that's about? And then some people look at those punishments as being a sacrifice for our greater good. So they put a karma on that. It's like, well, that happened to him so that I can live forever, for example, with Jesus. And
Yeah.
and the religious beliefs around that.
So
Yeah.
it's really interesting because as I was kind of delving into this subject, I kind of also thought, okay, like grace or forgiveness or, waiting before we react can mitigate the karma. Consciousness can mitigate karma, and so can sacrifice
Yeah.
mitigate the karma as well. And erase it in this dimension, in this time, as we're creating all this karma, because the life lived, I believe, is what is creating the karma.
Hmm.
Karma is not, I don't, do you believe karma exists in other dimensions?
That's a tricky one because if it was in another dimension, why would it affect this one? So
Right.
it's like you'd have to open that door. It's energy that floats around. It's energy out there. and it does come back, but then it goes to another life. It's like with us. So when we finish this life, we go into another one, or we go into, or we do a different adventure, as some people will call it. But then we're carrying that energy with us from one life to the next. So it's like if it was in another dimension, you just close that door and not open it. That would be,
Not go there. Let's
yeah,
not go.
just don't touch it, and it won't cause anything.
Yes.
Yeah.
At the root of karma, though, what do you think the root of it is? The cause of it actually is?
That's a good question. Yeah. It's a it was, it's like it has its own living portion. Like it's alive in some way because it keeps moving and evolving and growing and changing and disappearing, and then we create another one. It's just yeah, it's like it seems to be more a living thing, like as a spirit on its own.
Right. So,
We're
like,
creating now.
because I've run across some things that says the actual root of karma is desire.
Oh, that would make sense.
So, in this lifetime, karmic reactions, negative karmic or positive karmic reactions, are stem all from humanity's need to fulfill a desire. So the desire to have an affair with my neighbor's wife or husband, the desire to accumulate more money, the desire for basically self gratification or humanistic things in this life.
Okay, so that gives us another question. So if it's a fulfillment of a desire, will it affect animals as well? Animals and plants and all these different living things that all have souls and spirit. It's like, do they also get karma?
Well, I would
'Cause-
think that they are creating karma.
yeah.
Um, and and then that, you're right. Like, does that then spread out to the cycles of life? And does karma actually produce manifestations of the future,
Mhm. Yeah.
which let's go down the rabbit hole and see what that. But I do, is that a cycle of life with animals or plants, or is that actually that they're producing a karmic
Yeah.
result?
Well, because they don't have consciousness the way we do. Like they can't
Or we don't think that they do?
well, they have consciousness, but it's like what's the they guilt. They don't carry some of the types of emotions that we carry. Like we know that plants are sad, that they react on sadness, so they react on death, they react on different things, they react on trauma. But do they actually desire something? Do they have that consciousness to actually desire something?
Well, I
And
think their desire would be to live.
yeah, but it would be interesting to see, does their desire create karma? Would their desire create the energy around the forest fires, for example, because there's lots of them? So then can they blame themselves? Oh my gosh, I didn't do this yesterday, so that caused the fire today. Right? Because there's
Yeah.
so many people, and I call them people, so many animals and plants and life that is affected by a forest fire. So is it all their fault that there's a forest fire today, or is it that one guy that flicked the cigarette outside of the window, or did he flick that cigarette outside the window to create all this karma because all these plants did something wrong? you
Yeah.
know?
Yeah.
Yeah, because that's
It's
how.
that, I've never really thought of that. And, maybe it's a whole combination of karmic energy all coming together.
Yeah.
and really creating something that is really out of our control.
Hmm.
Yeah. It
It's
says that the soul carries the karma into the afterlife
mhm.
from this dimension, and that the afterlife it's then stored. And then when we're returning, the soul carries that back into this life once again. So,
Right.
and that the only thing that will break that cycle is to be consciously aware. Consciousness. Yeah. A lot of people go, oh, it's not karma. It's not anything I did. I just have bad luck.
Oh, I
I'm
hate
just
that.
unlucky.
It's like, yeah, no. Then if it was luck, then it would be random.
But I've seen plenty of really good people
Hmm.
that goes play a slot machine in a casino and never win anything, but they're
Hmm.
really good people.
Yeah,
So that is is luck separate from karma.
it can be. I don't think luck is random. I think it's an energy thing as well. Everything is predetermined in our life.
Yeah.
Even though we think that, oh, it's just random, it's like it's not. Everything's pre-written. The people will end their contract early, or they continue and they fulfill their contract. You're still, so luck, is it random, or is it put in your place to put you somewhere else to help you with something else that you are to be trained for in your lifetime?
Yeah,
It's
well
all energy.
said.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's
You
like
know,
karma. Can we hone that energy together on that karma and use it for the greater good? Like,
mhm.
can we change that energy altogether? That would be a bonus.
Well, I think we can.
Yeah.
We can change it by changing our pattern and our behavior and how we react to certain things.
Mm.
Because if we react differently, then that actually changes the karmic effect.
There you go, guys. Do
So
that.
it's not like, oh, I'm just going to be good and this is going to change the karma. I
Mm-hmm.
actually have to, because karma is connected to action. I actually have to change my behavior and my actions,
Mm-hmm.
according to some theories, because it's all over the place, really.
Yes, it is. Yeah, it
Um,
is. It's everywhere.
and you're right, it's just a matter of what you believe and what if you believe that this works or not. They say that karma was a result of the breaking of the contract between God, Allah, the creator, and the breaking of the contract between humanity and that energetic source. And that started to produce the wheel of reincarnation, which actually started the effect of karma and karmic reactions. So it's interesting. So if you meant well, like I do something for you and my intentions are good, but
Mm.
it really produces a bad effect for you. Is that, am I responsible for the karma then? Your reaction, your negative?
No, no, because my reaction is my own karma. Your actions is your karma. My actions on my half is my karma. So my karma may be affected, like I may have reacted a certain way with what you did, but you are responsible for your actions. I am responsible for mine.
Right.
And that creates karma.
Yeah. Because
Yeah.
there's another old saying, the road to hell is paved with good intentions. Oh, it just causes your intention might be good, but the overall result is not good.
Yeah.
So it can really cause you know, negative karma to arise somewhere.
Yes, exactly. But if
And
your heart's in the right place and you love, and that's all you do is love, and then it's good for you because only love can come back to you. It's like one of the old witches sayings, do unto others and it'll come back to you tenfold. So when I get all these people that go, oh, it's witchcraft, and I'm going, if it was a true witch, they wouldn't have done it in the first place.
right.
Because they know it's going to come back to them tenfold. So why would they even go there? And that's like my response for a lot of these people going, oh, witchcraft did it. It's like, no, witchcraft didn't do it.
No, and that's the thing. We are prone, I think it's kind of in our DNA, to blame somebody else for what is going on, or to say the higher energies are doing it all.
Yeah,
And, I've been cursed, or I have bad luck, or those mantras that people go, it has nothing to do with me. I could never. So, and that was part of the thing also that they said could break karma is taking responsibility.
exactly. Because that's your first step of being conscious of what's going on around you.
Right.
It's like own it, own what you have done, and then move forward.
Yes. Yeah. So, yeah, it really, a lot of us have a fear of that, a fear of consciously admitting that we've erred, or try to explain ourselves to
Exactly.
worm our way out of it. And yet that doesn't mitigate, won't take the karma energy away. So I think, I don't believe, do you believe in destiny then? Do you think karma is linked with destiny?
Destiny?
Yes.
Well, so no, because you can change. Well, that, yeah. So this is something that you teach quite a bit, but destiny, can it be changed or not? So it's like I'm on this path. I think I'm going this direction, but I'm actually going this direction. But if I'm going the wrong direction, destiny will put me back on the right path. Like I will end up on the path I'm supposed to be on, and I will continue going forward. So, but how I react to different reactions has nothing to do with my destiny. It just is my life going to be harder getting to the place where I'm supposed to get at. And everybody's had situations where they've done that. It's like I have 19 years of experience and 14 years in a cult to prove that I got put back on the right path, right? I
Right.
was on the wrong path, but I went right back on my path. Was my karma putting me on my right path? No, it was experience, and destiny was I have to be here. I have to do readings for others. I have to help people, but I thought I had to learn all this other stuff first, and I learned it just by being in the call. That happened for a reason, but that's my destiny. Karma, how
Right.
did I
And so
react?
that's not karma.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, no. Karma is
So
all the stuff in between.
there's another theory, before we kind of wrap up this whole karma thing in a
Sorry.
nutshell, is that karma is, the theory is that karma is completed at the time of this lifetime, that it doesn't carry forward. And this would be a belief system, of course, but karma
Yeah.
doesn't carry forward. And that, whatever is done here and now, we actually pay for it here and now. And so if we don't pay for it throughout our lives, for example, Adolf Hitler died a really horrific death.
Mhm.
And some other individuals die really traumatic, and live out the remainder of what is left of their life in really horrible circumstances. And you can go through down the whole list of them, from Saddam Hussein to some of the other really horrific people that obviously enacted a lot of karma in their lifetimes. And they say that it's done here and now, over with, the punishment is given, and that then you begin your new life with a whole new, fresh set of karma that you can initiate. Now, the mitigating factor here is that the karma is over and said and done, and you go to spirit. Then you come into a new lifetime, and you get to do it all over again. You get to make your choices in this new lifetime. But if you do good, you stop the wheel of reincarnation. That the reason why we keep coming back is to initiate the karmic effect again and to correct it in another lifetime. And if we don't, then we are destined to be reborn to do it all over again. But each lifetime only holds its own karma. It's not folded over to the next lifetime. The punishment is the reincarnation into a new life.
Okay. Do I believe
So
that?
I thought it was an interesting theory, and it
Yeah,
kind of
it
makes
is.
sense to some degree.
Yeah.
Yeah. And whether that
True.
is true, because I've seen a lot of people who've done a lot of horrific things really
Yeah.
suffer at the end of their lives, and
Yeah.
really go struggle with the whole death and dying and living process at the end of their life. So I thought it was interesting.
That is interesting. Do you believe in that?
I believe in everything,
Perfect. That's
um,
beautiful.
because I don't know.
Yeah,
So because I don't know, there's a possibility of all of these theories to exist.
exactly.
And I can't really refute one over the other because I don't really know.
Yeah.
So I really don't have an opinion about all of
Yeah.
it in the sense of that, but that definitely could be a possibility. And that would clear and keep clear all the
Mm.
other dimensions from this thing we got going on down here.
Yeah,
Under-
no, like,
yeah.
yeah.
So, and what appears really in this lifetime of being good, uh, may not be what we see at all.
Mm,
Like the
yeah.
mobster gives to his community. He seems like a really good man, and behind the scenes, he's killing people. Like we have no
Exactly.
idea what is kind of out of our jurisdiction. So yeah, it's that to me is kind of a manipulation of the karmic energy when people do that.
Yeah. No, it makes sense. Yeah. It also puts question on what hell and heaven is, because I feel that those two places are holding cells for us. So it's like, why would they exist? So it'd be interesting with different people's outtake on different things.
Yeah, yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
Yeah.
Whether that is true or not, I guess, until we get over there.
We'll
And
find
then we
out,
get
right?
back here and then we go, oh, I don't remember a darn thing of what I was doing. And now I've got to figure it all out again.
Again. Yeah.
So I don't necessarily believe I believe that there are different levels of existence, like Vienna from Theta healing. I do believe that there are different levels, different dimensions. And even in biblical sense, it says my house has many rooms. So I
Yeah.
kind of believe that. But I don't think heaven is a holding cell. Uh, I think that the whole point is for us to come back
Hmm.
to the heavenly energies and
Okay.
be 100% united to have a clear, direct thing, and that would break the wheel of reincarnation if we did that. So yeah, it's a very difficult subject because it leads all over into different things, right? Uh,
Exactly.
and uh, and the manipulation, I think they'll get their own karma, whatever is coming to them. But then it affects my karma and my reaction to that. So yeah.
Exactly.
So we do, I think, need to be conscientious of this energy that you talk about.
Mhm.
And that we need to realize that our deeds and actions are having an impact on what is happening in the world. So do you have any final thoughts with karma?
Yeah, just like you said, just be very conscious of what you're doing and do the best you can in this lifetime to clear anything that you might have left undone, right? So, like, try to figure out, okay, how can I clear this karma? Did I do something negative? How can I get rid of that so I don't carry it on and keep that energy flowing? We want to stop the energy.
Yeah,
Yeah,
well, at least stop our own karmic repercussions.
exactly.
And if we all are responsible for ourselves with that karma that we're creating, that we'd probably do the world a good service.
Absolutely.
And stop this and stop the desires maybe of greed and things, that we really want the way the world is kind of set up. Yeah. So what is in the works for you these days?
Well, the fun thing is you and I, so you're going to be a guest speaker next Monday, or this Monday coming, actually. We are doing, you call it a wild moon. So the full moon here at my house, we have 2 people signed up so far. I like to keep it around 10 to 12 people. We're doing a variety night. I'm going to be doing some spell work. We're going to be working with sound. We're going to be working with all sorts of different things to help with that full moon that you call wild. And then you're coming in and you're going to do a discussion on that and what that moon actually represents, what kind of things you want to change in your life, and how you get rid of those crossroads, as you put it. So it's going to be a lot of fun. And we starts at 6:30. We can do it by Zoom. In person is best for this one because we're doing all sorts of fun things. And we're also going to be using your message by spirit. We're using the seeds in that, so everybody's going to get that. And you will be able to learn how to manifest your own spells using seeds and how to make these cards become a part of your life.
Mm-hmm. And that is
You're
really karmic,
absolutely.
So I think that's a really good thing that you're doing, especially at this full moon, that, as we come to the crossroads and we can make changes or are forced to make changes. So
Mhm.
that's kind of that karmic energy coming in as well. So yeah, I think that that's going to be a good time if any of you want to join Dab. So how did they get a hold of you?
So just email me is the easiest because you'll be sending e-transfer with email, or if you're from the States, you can just contact me and then we can worry about payment through Square. But it is Deb, dot the T-H-E dot seer at gmail.com. That's the best way to do it. And
Yeah,
it's
and
only
that's
$55.
yeah, that's Seer, Seer.
Yes.
Uh, And
Yes.
so, well, that's really good to hear. And of course, Deb is all available for readings at any time. And you can
Absolutely.
probably notify her the same way through that email. So just listen again to the email and then you'll catch it so you can contact her. So that's great.
What do you have planned coming up?
I anytime you can book a reading with me. And also, I'm going to begin in the fall the Psychic Intuitive Development Program again. starting with level 1, and that is on September 15th. It's a full day because it's packed full of stuff that we learn about. It's really the backbone behind our intuition and our psychic abilities. And so you can join me there, and you can contact me at my phone number 306-781-1300. You could text too, or you can email me at accsj@live.ca. Well, you could contact ACCJ too, but my husband would get it. So we don't necessarily want that. But guys, really sit down with yourselves and really think about karma. Really think about, how am I reacting? What am I responsible for? What is my consciousness? And am I aware of what I'm doing, that cause and effect? And that everything has a cause and effect according to karmas and the energy of karma. So that was a really good discussion, Deb. Thanks.
And thank you, Colleen. And so, guys, be tuned in to our next What to Talk About.
Yeah, next month. And
Yes.
we'll keep you informed of what it is that we're going to talk about. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Okay. Farewell. And we will catch you next time.